Good morning, students. Welcome to yet another video of Geography Chapter 5, Natural Vegetation and Wildlife Part 2. In the previous class, we discussed about natural vegetation, flora and fauna, and ecosystem. Today, we will discuss about types of vegetation and wildlife. With no further ado, let's start today's class. Today, we will start with the first subtopic, explaining about the types of vegetation. Typically, we have 5 major types of vegetation. They are tropical rainforest, tropical deciduous forest, tropical thorn forest, montane forest, and mangrove forest. Now, let's learn each one of them in brief. Starting with the first type of forest, explaining about tropical rainforest. Tropical rainforest, it is also known as tropical evergreen forest. As the name says, it is an evergreen forest because there is no definite time for trees to shed their leaves, and these forests generally appear green all the year round. These types of forests are located in regions of heavy rainfall more than 200 centimeter. These forests has a luxuriant vegetation of all kinds, trees, shrubs, and creepers. And the trees reach great heights up to 60 meters or even above. These forests are found in Western Ghats, Assam, Tamil Nadu, Lakshadweep, and Andaman and Nicobar. Some important trees of this forest are ebony, mahogany, rosewood, and so on. Trees, shrubs, and creepers gave it a multi-layered structure. The common animals which we can see in this forest are elephants, monkey, lemur, and so on. The one-horned rhinoceros are found in the jungles of Assam and West Bengal. Now let's move on to the second type of vegetation, that is tropical deciduous forest. Tropical deciduous forest, these are the most widespread forest of India. They are also known as monsoon forest. And the trees shed their leaves in the dry season. And these type of forests are located in regions of rainfall between 70 to 200 centimeter. These forests are divided into two, moist and dry deciduous forest. By the name moist, you can pretty much figure out that it consists of water. Wet deciduous or moist deciduous forests are found in regions between 100 to 200 centimeter of rainfall. These forests exist mostly in the northeastern states, along the foothills of the Himalayas, Jharkhand, Orissa, Chhattisgarh, and on the eastern slopes of the Western Ghats. Teak is the most prominent or is the dominant species of this forest. Bamboo, sal, sandalwood, arjun, mulberry, these are the other commercially important trees in this forest. The dry deciduous forest. The dry deciduous forest are seen in the areas where we receive rainfall between 70 centimeter to 100 centimeter. And the dry deciduous forests are not dense forest like the rainforest. Dry deciduous forests are found in the plains of Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, and the rainier parts of the Deccan Plateau. Rainier parts means having considerable rainfall. The important trees in the dry deciduous forest are teak, sal, peepal, and neem. In the dry deciduous forest, the trees have been cleared in some parts for cultivation and for grazing. The common animals which we can see in this forest are lion, tiger, pig, elephant, and so on. Apart from these, a huge variety of birds, lizards, snakes can also find in this type of forest. The third type of forest is tropical thorn forest and scrubs. We can see the tropical thorn forest in regions with less than 70 centimeter of rainfall. From the name, we can understand that the natural vegetation in this forest consists of thorny trees and bushes. This type of forest found in semi-arid regions like Gujarat, Rajasthan, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, and Chhattisgarh. The main plant species which we can see in this forest are babul, kikar, palms, cacti, and acacia. In this forest, trees are scattered and also have long roots in the soil to get maximum moisture. The common animals that we can see in this forest are rats, mice, rabbits, fox, wolf, tiger, lion, wild ass, horses, camels, and so on. Now let's move on to the fourth type of forest, explaining about montane forest. Always remember, this forest is found wherever there is mountain. As the name says, montane forest. Montane forest we can see in mountain areas. And in India, we have mountain in southwestern Ghats, that is in the regions of Karnataka, Kerala, and Tamil Nadu. Then we have mountains in the southern part of Himalayas, that is in the Shivalik range. Then we have mountains in the northeast India. So these places have good amount of elevation or slope that gives rise to montane forest. Now here is the fact: as we go up, the temperature decreases, and that leads to change in the natural vegetation. It means increasing altitude results in decreasing temperature. As we go up, the temperature will decrease. The temperature of the mountain areas are much cooler than the plain areas. Therefore, with the change in temperature, there will be a change in the vegetation. So the kind of trees that we see in the tropical rainforest or tropical deciduous forest, they are totally different from the trees that are present in the mountain region. Now with a similar principle, we can also see that as we move away from the equator to tundra region, or else when we move towards the poles, the North Pole and to the South Pole, there the temperature decreases. So as we move away from the equator and we move towards the poles, the temperature will decrease. Therefore, there will be a change in the pattern of natural vegetation. So some of the trees that present in this forest are oaks, sal, junipers, pines, and birch. Now in the region of cold areas, that is southern part of Himalayas near the Shivalik range, we will see mosses and lichens. They adopt on these vegetation. These are the prominent points about montane forest. Now let's move on to the next type of vegetation, that is explaining about mangrove forest. The mangrove forest. Mangrove forest, it's a type of forest which is found near the coastal areas with tides. Tides are important because they will help to accumulate mud and silt in the coast. Dense mangroves are the common varieties of trees in this forest. In this forest, the roots of the plants are submerged in water and can be seen only during low tide. They are found in the deltas of the rivers, specifically Ganga, Brahmaputra, Mahanadi, Krishna, Godavari, and Kaveri. The Sundari trees found in the Ganga-Brahmaputra delta provide durable hard timber. Palm, coconut, agar are the few trees that will grow in this particular type of forest. Royal Bengal tigers is the famous animal which we can see in this type of forest. Apart from the Royal Bengal tiger, we can also see turtles, crocodiles, gharial, and snakes. We can also see in this type of forest. That's all about the different types of vegetation. Now in the next slide, we can see a map highlighting the natural vegetation. So this green colored area, these are the regions where we can see the tropical evergreen forest. And these are the states which we can see the tropical deciduous forest. This color, here we can see the montane forest, and here is the mangrove forest. These are the three prominent areas where we can see the mangrove forest, and this area is the tropical thorn forest. Now let's see the images of the different types of vegetations which we learned right now. So this is the picture showing tropical evergreen forest, and the next is the moist deciduous forest, followed by dry deciduous forest. Next image showing thorn forest. See, here you can see in the thorn forest the vegetation is scattered. And next we learned about the montane forest, and finally we learned about the tidal forest or mangrove forest. Now we will learn about the wildlife in India. India is rich in its wildlife. It has about 90,000 animal species, 2,000 bird species, and about 2,546 fish species, and another 5 to 8% of the world's amphibians and reptiles and mammals are there in India. The elephants are the most majestic animals among the mammals. The elephants are found in the hot, wet forest of Assam, Karnataka, and Kerala. The one-horned rhinoceros live in swampy and marshy lands of Assam and West Bengal. The Rann of Kutch and Thar Desert are the habitat of wild ass and camels. The lions we can see in the Gir forest in Gujarat, and tigers in the Sundarbans of West Bengal and the Himalayan region and in the forest of Madhya Pradesh. The cold region of Himalayas and Ladakh, which are at very high altitudes, There you can find yak, shaggy horned wild dogs, Tibetan antelope, blue sheep, wild sheep, bear, snow leopard, and all these sort of thick skin animals we can find in the Himalayas and in the Ladakh region. Next, we can see a map which is highlighting about the wild reserves in India. This map represents all the wildlife reserves in India. Let us see something which is very important. One of the prominent wildlife reserve in India is the Corbett National Park, which is in Uttarakhand, Ranthambore National Park, which is in Rajasthan, Kaziranga in Assam, and Manas National Park also in Assam, then Gir Forest in Gujarat, and move towards the south. Another prominent wildlife sanctuary is Periyar Wildlife Sanctuary in Kerala, and Bendipur Wildlife Sanctuary in it's also in Kerala, and Vedantangal Bird Sanctuary in Tamil Nadu. So these are the few prominent wildlife reserves in India. You can go through all the prominent wildlife reserves for a better understanding. Now, next we will discuss about the prominent bioreserves in India. The prominent 14 bioreserves in India are as follows. The bioreserves is to protect the flora and fauna of our country. The prominent bioreserves in India are, the first is the Sundarbans. Sundarbans, it is in West Bengal. Next is the Gulf of Mannar, which is in the coastal part of Tamil Nadu. The Nilgiris Bioreserve, which is in Karnataka. Then the Nanda Devi Bioreserve, it is in Uttarakhand. Then Nokrek Bioreserve, which is in Meghalaya. Great Nicobar Bioreserve, which is in Andaman and Nicobar. Manas, it is in Assam. Simlipal in Odisha. Then Dibang, it is in Arunachal Pradesh. Then Dibru Saikova, it is in Assam. The next is the Kanchenjunga Bioreserve. Kanchenjunga Bioreserve, it is in Sikkim. It is near to the Teesta River. And the next is the Pachmari Bioreserve, which is in Madhya Pradesh. And the last is the Achanakmar Amarkandak Bioreserve, which is in Chhattisgarh. So these are the prominent bioreserves in our country to protect our flora and fauna. Then we have some projects also in India. So the Project Tiger, Project Rhino, Project Great Indian Bustard, and many other developmental projects have been introduced. Then we have 89 national parks and 49 wildlife sanctuaries and zoological gardens are set up to take care of our natural heritage. With this, we concluded the chapter Natural Vegetation and Wildlife. Thank you, students. Have a good day ahead.